ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Squares of the Round Table on Clubhouse. How are y'all doing this evening with my cohorts, Jeff and Mike? And, of course, how's your groovy thing today, guys?
Okay. I'm groovy.
Okay.
I'm
groovy?
feeling mighty groovy.
Well, this is cool. I'm glad we were doing this on Clubhouse. This is like...
On my end, it does sound better than Skype.
Yeah, it does sound better on my end, too.
I'm sure it does. You know, I'm glad we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I'm thrilled about this, that we actually can do this. And then if we get people walking into the room, we can actually...
I'm thrilled beyond belief.
We can actually have, dare I say it, an audience?
Yeah, seriously. We can actually take questions and people can actually hear what the... We might actually get more than 5 people listen to this show.
Yeah, you know, when they're not trying to just have us as a last thought and stuff.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, question for you guys. I know we usually start with other stuff, but as we record this, it is the 40th anniversary of MTV.
Yep.
Yes. Can you believe it? 40 years, man. August 1st, 1981. Mind-blowing.
Yep.
It amazes me how far... Well, it depends on your opinion. Some people say how far up MTV has come. Some people say, oh, it's gone so far down with its programming and such. But, you know, I guess it depends on your person. For me, all the programming when they started getting away from the videos and the music related programming and everything, after that they kind of lost me. Because that was when the whole reality television, you know, family, you know, Big Brother and all the other crap started, you know, coming up, and then they started putting on less and less music and more stuff like that. Then they just kind of lost me after that. So, but at least I think we had about when did they start changing the programming around? Around the late 1990s, early 2000s?
Maybe about 20 years ago.
I mean...
It seemed like in the late 90s, early 2000s when they branched off and just started to do things other than just music videos. And then they devoted other music channels just to videos. And then there were other channels for genres.
Right. Well, I know that VH1 kind of picked up the slack, and then they kind of widened their format to include like older videos and older television shows and music-related movies, which I thought was really cool. And then they had a great program on VH1, you know, Behind the Music, which I thought was great.
So Paramount Plus is bringing that back.
Behind the Music, yes, you're right.
Yes. They're bringing that back. They're bringing that back as a Paramount Plus thing, which, to me, I kind of laugh. It's like,
okay,
why? We can't have that on VH1 anymore? I mean, it's a VH1 show. Why do we have to, like, pay for Paramount Plus to get...
Because it's owned by Viacom.
Yeah, it's owned by Viacom. Yeah, so, you know, again...
Well, Paramount. I don't think Viacom is a thing anymore.
No, Viacom, well, yeah,
Viacom, I think Viacom, a lot of their distribution now is more geared towards, like, older shows. I mean, I've noticed that...
No, it's not good. I think it's spun off. The problem, that's what Mike's talking about, is they did some stuff recently where it's, like, CBS, because it's always been, like, CBS, Viacom, and Paramount. And at one point they were all together, and now I think they're 3 entities or 2 entities. I'm not positive of it, so I don't know anymore.
The only time I ever recognized Viacom on anything is when I watch the older shows. Like, you know, I mean, I'm the old guy here, so it's kind of like I watch all the antenna channels, and I noticed that Viacom has a lot of distribution to like older shows and stuff like that because the fact that they were actively produced by Viacom at the time these shows were going on. But I don't know if that's is that just a product of its time, or I guess Viacom maybe is on its own legging, or that it's been absorbed by Paramount or by
that's what I'm not positive on.
Just rebranding as far as I know.
I know that's what
it sounds like.
I know. Well, no. I think there was a spinoff. I think there's a business thing here, and I think that's one of the reasons. I can't remember what the guy's name was. The president guy who got in trouble with about the who might have been with the sexual harassment thing, and that was the guy who was against some of it, and then he left, and then they finally were able to do. They were finally able to spin it off, or I can't remember if they made some of it CBS and some of it Paramount, or if they're all in one, or what. Again, that's one of those groups where, as much as we make fun of Warner Brothers on stuff we're having to do with DC Comics and all that stuff lately, figuring out what is Paramount, what's CBS, and what is Viacom is just. I
know that Paramount had a lot of things going on with CBS for a long time.
Right. Well, they're all owned by the same owner. They're all owned by the Redstones, or they're all in bed together as a
same conglomerate. Yeah.
I just don't know if they've all been spun off as separate companies, or if one doesn't exist and the others do.
I think that's worth an investigation of some sort, you know.
Well, the problem is I don't feel like going. I feel like being lazy today and not looking it up.
Okay.
But the point being is, you know, there were some good stuff. There was some good MTV stuff. In fairness, and where I'll push back on you, Ivan, is, you know, some of the stuff that they did was unique and interesting at times when we didn't have that kind of stuff didn't happen. And when I say that, like, for example, remote, I don't know if you guys remember Remote Control at all.
Shit, yeah, I do. I love that show.
Right. Remote Control is great.
Right, but there's an example of something that wasn't necessarily music videos, but was popular.
Yeah, it's pop culture.
Pop culture.
Then, you guys remember Liquid Television?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Liquid Television, and then that was when they were getting involved with the artsy, creative type of sensibility. Eon Flux came out of that whole situation, and
at one point they actually had believe it or not, at one point there was a new Spider-Man cartoon that was done on MTV at one point. I think Sony, they worked something out with Sony. But yeah, I mean, there's that, and then I'm trying to think what else. I think. Well,
I know MTV like resurrected a lot of music series. Like I know a new generation of fans who are on MTV got treated to the Monkees all over again. Because
there's some really interesting documentary pieces that they would do from their MTV news department too.
Yes,
yes. You know, I'm just thinking of one off the top of my head, like I'm gay, or you know, or like for example, like I'm a pro wrestler, or you know, I'm being a bodybuilder, like all kinds of stuff like that, where
a lot of human interest stories.
Right, and I think they did a lot of cool stuff that way, but a lot of that stuff seems to be gone.
Well, yeah, just like some of the cool shows they used to have, you know, you had Yo MTV Raps, which was the first of its kind on MTV.
Yeah, they had shows that catered to each genre.
You know, what was it? Headbangers Ball was another one.
Yep.
Which was another great show. A lot of people.
And then dance music, they had The Grind, and they had, of course, TRL.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that dance show with Downtown Julie Brown. I mean, I swear to God, it's like I feel like the rules for the cameraman was find the hottest girl and guy and get a camera angle that's going to make some preteen have to go like either masturbate or go find like find like a shower or something like that.
Take a cold shower somewhere.
Seriously, I mean.
No, that was a total bop your baloney type of program. You know, so yeah, that was all done on purpose.
But you know, I mean, what you got Singled Out? Singled Out was a big deal at the time.
Singled Out was good.
You know,
and then the MTV Awards, Video Awards were
the Video Music Awards.
Yeah, the
Video Music Awards were stellar. I mean, those were probably some of the best shows, best award shows I have ever seen because they were just so off the beaten path and just
they were the counterculture at the time.
Yeah,
right.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, look, let's be honest. even now, the MTV guys are, even now, in some ways, still, their award shows are still better than pretty much anybody else's award shows. I mean, even now, even though they don't play music videos, and they could care less about movies and TV. I mean, so.
Well, it's because MTV at the time it aired was unlike anything that was ever done on, television before, and it's kind of almost freeform sensibility. I mean, here it is. You have a channel that at any time you tuned in was filled with all these music videos, and you got caught up on the latest and the greatest, and to a point where you had several pioneers like Prince and Michael Jackson who took it to the next level and created a whole new genre of music presentation because of the videos that they created.
It really changed the music industry, that's for sure.
And it just became this creative outlet. I mean,
it was the forefront of pop culture in the 80s and 90s. And then we had MTV Unplugged. Great performances, live performances there.
Great. I love MTV Unplugged. That was a great show, too.
Right.
I think, what was your favorite MTV Unplugged?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know R.E.M. did one, Nirvana did one, of course Mariah did one, Clapton, of course, did his.
Cool J did one.
Yep.
Which was crazy.
I like the
rap guy. We're talking about a rap guy doing Unplugged. I mean, holy crap.
Well, there was the one where you had Heavy D and the Boys, and you had Jodeci.
That was later, though. That was a lot later.
Yeah, but it was nonetheless good. It was really good. No. And then I thought for me, I thought the MTV Unplugged by Nirvana was probably the pinnacle of his career because it really brought his artistry and his creative and his verse to the fore. Because the music being raging that it was, and sometimes you don't always get all the lyrics when you got raging guitars and drums and bass going, and sometimes the words get lost. But then you listen to the words of what he was singing, and it made it as plain as day what the intention of that song was all about. Made it more it humanized the experience more than anything he had ever recorded in the studio, and made him that kind of it gave him a whole new sense of accessibility in that right. Kurt Cobain, yes. I mean his words do have a story. His words do make sense. His words do have layers.
I think they changed I think because of the Clapton one, they changed like the Grammy rules, because I think I remember correctly, like the year that Clapton did
Layla.
Did Layla Unplugged.
Everything was on the radio.
It was like, no, forget that. I think it was like the landslide Grammy winner too. So but
do you think it was influential in? Well, like you're saying it was influential in how it changed things for the Grammy, because the Grammys up until that point were just mostly stagnated by.
I mean in terms of like, I think they were not allowing you. I think after that they didn't allow you to do
live albums
as like a recreate live album like that as a possibility for like best album or stuff or best record and stuff like that.
Which is kind of ridiculous, because some of the best records that got Grammys were live performances.
Right, but again, those were probably at the time when they were new, versus this is, a best of kind of situation in some ways.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. All right.
They were in the mid to late 90s. I remember the Grammys released like a bunch of performances from the Grammy Award shows.
Oh yeah, they were doing those CDs where you had
CD compilations or albums of live performances at the Grammys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's where I got my version of Christine Aguilera's, Sugar Man, which, I used to play that out quite a bit.
You mean Candyman?
Candyman. Sorry, Sugar Man.
Sugar Man.
Well, you know what?
Sugar Man.
I was close.
Sugar Man.
Sugar Man.
Hey, you know, like I said,
pour some sugar on me.
I mean, in fairness,
pour some sugar on me.
Someone quick, hit the mute button.
Def Leppard.
Yeah, more like Def. Definitely like. Oh, anyway.
So yeah, that happened. MTV is 40 and we're old.
Right. Well, no, but.
Well, old is subjective, you know. I think
still old.
Well, yes, I'm still old,
absolutely.
but I will never act my age, and nobody will make me act my age, and I refuse.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but to your point, Ivan, I think it's interesting because you said, okay, the 90s is really where it ended. And I'll push back a little on that because, you know, I think that really in reality, a lot of the biggest changes for MTV took place in the aughts. I mean, I still remember there being music video in the aughts on MTV and VH1.
Yeah, but
it's only been in the last maybe in the last 10 years. I mean, but no, hold on a second. I mean, because like for example, think about this: that whole Madonna, Britney, Christina Aguilera thing that happened in the 2000s.
Yeah, but see, okay, but you're talking about actual performances against, you know, what video presentation was happening.
But TRL was a huge show, and that was still
in
around.
Still in the 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the other one that the guy from Fall Out Boy did for a bit, which had the really iconic, like one of the first really iconic Katy Perry live appearances where she did "I Kissed a Girl."
But
I can't remember the name of that show.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is that we went from 24 hours nonstop video presentations, and of course morphed into video presentations and certain genre shows, which morphed into certain human interest programming, and then morphed into the occasional live show / live performance / sensibility that just brought about all the changes that happened in the aughts. You know,
yeah, it's not Bop Your Baloney program anymore.
No, it's not your Bop Your Baloney.
Depends on how young you are and what your baloney looks like.
Let's sit there playing with your pud.
In fairness, look, let's keep some perspective on this, which is it's only been 10 years since Jersey Shore. And that was like a huge program for MTV. I understand it's not music, but to me, part of what was cool about MTV was it wasn't necessarily always just the music. It was the vibe, it was the feel, it was the eclectic mix of what they did.
Yeah, it was a haven of eclectica in MTV.
Haven of Eclectica.
That's the show. That's
okay.
probably the show title is.
No, it's just gonna have Clubbin.
Haven of the Eclectica and the Sugar Man. That's for sure. That's probably.
Well, but it's true though. It was a haven of eclectic, pop culture sensibilities that basically MTV, within the frame of 40 years, managed to do what regular television only hinted at trying to do. They just busted through all of the old mores and presented television that people actually wanted to fucking watch.
Well,
and were interested in that, and it was actually relevant, but not with it being something that, it didn't teach a lesson, or it didn't do this, it didn't do that, but it was just pure entertainment.
Yeah, and then the late 80s, early 90s, I remember having to record certain programs, recording live performances from MTV onto VHS tapes.
Well, I used to do the same. I used the same thing. I still got a few of my old reels where I used to record back in the 80s, where I used to actually record some of the music from the MTV channel onto reels, which I still have. And and it made for a great. Just drop the reel on and just play it, and it was just nonstop, and it was great.
Yeah, no. The only other thing I'll mention to is this, which is, and Ivan, this may not be a factor as much for you, but like when, like I can say probably when Mike probably went to broadcast school and I did too, I mean, there was always the talk of you want to do kind of MTV style editing, and I think that you okay over there? Somebody like die over there?
No, my
garbage
cat
cans.
my cat just knocked my cat knocked my guitar down.
Yeah. Got it. Damn pussy. But the point being that, I mean, there's an entire editing style that literally we kind of wanted like an MTV type style or that kind of thing. I mean, that was an entire thought process about what editing looks like. That is, even to this day, changed what editing looks like and how fast and how
that was because they actually did some research on the time span or the attention span of the regular viewer, and actually studies were made about the attention span of regular viewers. You know how we sit in front of the TV. Remember, it was like the song, 200 channels with nothing on.
57
click,
channels
click.
and nothing on was the Springsteen song.
Well, yeah, and and what happens is it was click, 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 click. But what MTV did was they made it where things were happening within a framework of that time that just kept you hooked to what it is that you were looking at, and they knew that you were going to get bored with it quick, so they made sure they went to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and they made it they edited to the point of engaging television, and it worked. I mean, it works in many ways. I mean, look at a Michael Bay film, the razor edits in a Michael Bay film. They just on and on non-stop. Cut. Well, that was drawn from that whole device of what MTV was doing in their programming through their editing department. And I could be wrong, but I think they were one of the first to actually do this type of editing process in order to keep the viewers attentive and glued to the screens, and with as little or no switch time. And because the longer you stay on a channel, the better it is. And of course, I don't know if
how music videos are made then too. I mean, there were fast cuts and outrageous sets and smoke machines and hairspray everywhere on those hair bands.
Ingenious creative design, and it was the over the top wow factor. And the bigger, the better, the more colorful, the more flames, the more this, the more. I mean,
music videos did exist before MTV, but they just didn't have a place. And then once MTV was established, and which was quite quickly, once it was on the scene, you had artists that were struggling to make, fancy schmancy videos. And I remember my sisters were older when MTV first started, so we'd watch them and they'd want to see the latest video from whatever artist.
Right.
Now it became an event.
And that also almost single-handedly made it where it single-handedly created the video chart.
Yeah, where if labels were like, if you need to make a video for this song.
Right.
If you have a hit single, you need to make a music video.
Right, and that was the command of the day, and of course pushing back on you, Mike, about the whole video presentation not being a new idea. It wasn't a new idea. Actually, the whole presentation dates back as far as the 1940s, which was started by a company called Panorama, which they came out with a thing called a soundy, which you would throw a dime into one of these Panorama machines and you would see 3 videos for a dime. Well, actually back then it was film, it was film presentation, and that's when you had these artists.
Because with the advent of cable TV came around, and there was all of a sudden all these channels where they could create
all this content.
Yeah, so then that's where MTV came from.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so, like I said, an old idea made new again by the splendors of what became MTV. Now, MTV, here's a good question for you. Where do you see MTV in the next 10 years?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they've done. It's interesting to see what they've done since in the last 10 years as it is. So I'm just not sure. And the funny part to me is, and you're going to laugh when I say this out loud, I don't know if any of us in this room who are talking right now can really judge that. Because we're out of the demographic, but to us,
we are.
Look at it.
Yeah, we are no longer the demographic for MTV viewers.
Well, we're out of the demographic for a lot of things, guys.
A lot of things.
Yeah, but I mean, even more so now. I mean, because even when we sit here and we talk about, they need to play music videos again, and it needs to be about music again. There's entire generations of kids who
never gone to it.
Who MTV, it wasn't about the music, it was about MTV,
the shows,
the brand, and what the brand of MTV is. Now, those kids are also sitting there in some ways, or I shouldn't say kids, a lot of them are adults now. Now, a lot of them are saying similar things like, where's this, where's that, how come?
Yeah, where is Big Brother? Where is, where's all those?
No, they didn't have Big Brother. They didn't have Big Brother.
Not Big Brother, the house.
The Real World.
The Real World. That's the one.
I mean, the funny part is
always get them mixed up. They always look the same.
Well, there's a little bit of a difference between, although it's funny because that whole Real World Railroads challenge thing was every Bachelor, Big Brother before there was ever that. And that's
but they were the precursor to all of those shows.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Real World is the reason we have reality TV this day.
We have television, right? Which, again, here's where MTV was at the cutting edge of the pop culture curve.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me because, I think now sometimes they're just as good on. Again, the problem is, I'll be honest, I passed by that channel so many times and don't even look anymore. I mean, I don't know what they still. What is it? Teen Mom still? I don't know. I mean, I
haven't paid attention to MTV since. I'll be honest with you. I haven't really watched MTV since the 2000s myself. It's
somewhere in the 2000s.
It's not relevant for me after that point.
I know some MTV VJs have found places on SiriusXM where they've become disc jockeys pretty much for the streaming radio channels.
Well, downtown. Whatever happened to Downtown Julie Brown? Anybody know?
She's still on 80s on 8 or something like that. I think
she's doing stuff, but I mean, the most famous at this point of all is Carson Daly went on to go do the Today Show and does The Voice, and
right.
That's
pretty big.
I mean, he took over Bob Costas and did that later show that no longer exists. And then NBC knew what they had in Carson Daly, and so they moved him to The Voice, and then eventually they moved him to the Today Show, and he's in the mornings on the Today Show now. So, I mean, he went from hanging out with Eminem and Mariah Carey and Limp Bizkit and Korn on weekdays to where he's up at ungodly hour and he's on network TV. By the way, did you ever see the time Mariah? This is before Mariah had one of her breakdowns where she shows up out of nowhere with like an ice cream trolley.
Yeah, she talked about that in her book when she was promoting the glitter film. Where she was overworked and that it became much more of a scandal from the news.
The glitter film is right up there.
I'm not talking about the glitter film.
Now, she was promoting the glitter film on TRL.
She was promoting the glitter film, and the glitter film is probably up in the echelons of probably some of the worst films
Echelons.
ever made.
Echelons.
Echelons
and Eclectica.
Eclectica.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the sugar man.
It's kind of there with intelligentsia.
What? Okay.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, she does talk about that in the book. Well, she had a mental breakdown, and then like the movie came out just like right after 9/11. So
yeah, and it sank.
Yeah, it did. It didn't form.
It was.
She blames the glitter film failure on how Mottola was still was pulling strings inside the movie studio, and he was not working to her best interest.
Well, because Mottola was Sony, okay, and
this was after their divorce in 97, 98, so
right. So basically, Mottola was not going to make any interest of anything that she was going to do after that.
Yeah, but then years later, she was in that Precious film, and she got an Oscar, I think a Golden Globe nomination or something.
I mean, she's rebounded pretty much from all of that, but.
No.
But I, that's the other thing. Now that we're talking about it for a second, here's the other thing that MTV used to be really good at that they don't do anymore. They used to do a lot of those shows where they would archive their history of stuff that would happen. Where it was like, you'd get those shows where it was like, here's the history of, like, things that have happened on TRL or what's happened on the MTV Music Awards, like the time Johnny Depp won for the original Pirates of the Caribbean, and he went to go walk on stage, and I can't remember what her name was. The one who wrote Juno was absolutely swooning at him, and as he's walking on stage, like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and Judd Apatow were like sitting there going, "Oh, Depp, we'll get you if it's the last thing we do," because they lost to him, or the fact that, like, Jim Carrey showed up looking like a homeless guy that one year, or the fact that, like, that one time that Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey and Will Smith almost, like, kissed, or, you know, a lot of that crazy stuff, or, you know, or they talk about that, or, like, the one guy from Rage of the Machine who climbed up on top of, like, the thing at MTV and started shaking on there.
Howard Stern's famous fart band.
Oh, yeah. It's starting to come back to me now.
Right, but that's what they were good at, and they don't
creating sensationalism.
Right, they would archive
they created sensational content.
It was what we talked about the next morning at work after the award show.
The
famous water cooler conversations, you know, at work.
But they were good at making people aware of why they were relevant. Like I still remember there's this one scene where literally, so Eminem, I guess Eminem is on TRL and Mark Wahlberg's on TRL.
Yeah, I remember.
This is after Mark Wahlberg was no longer Marky Muck the Farky Bunch. He's now serious actor Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
And Eminem's like, "Hey, we should all get together like a funky bunch." And the look on Wahlberg's face is just...
He's like, the hell you say?
He's like, what? It's like, look like he wants to beat the shit out of him on TV. Nationwide cable.
Awkward. Yeah.
No.
Right. Well, and the thing is, too, I mean, like, TRL, I mean, it's crazy. You think about it. We're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, they used to have to close off Times Square because, the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC are coming to hang out at TRL.
Right.
And they'd have to close off like an entire block because that's how many people they'd get for that thing.
Ah, yes, the late 90s when boy bands ruled the earth.
Yeah, yes, those wonderfully manufactured men of 10.
Hey. The
money's in, we made it 10, we're here to give you more. Yep.
Yeah, but how is that different than any other manufactured boy bands that we had over the decades?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The whole manufactured boy band thing goes all the way back to the Monkees, which of course was also a manufactured situation for a television show. It wasn't a band; it was a television show about a band. But yet, look at what happened with Monkey Mania. You still have Michael Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz still performing. In fact, they're doing their last tour this year. This is their goodbye tour. So if you're going to
until next year,
goodbye.
Then they got to make rent.
Yeah.
But true story told, yeah, they said that they're doing a United States tour, and that this is it. This is the last one, I guess. And it's been promoted through Rhino Records. It's been promoted through the internet that this is the last one they're doing. They're up in the, but the fact that Monkey Mania up to the point where even a New Monkeys, and I think MTV came up with the New Monkeys idea that ended up getting shelved after a little while because it didn't catch on because of the fact
it was
that the
bad.
time. Yeah, I saw one episode and it was just,
I always saw a commercial and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, well, I saw one episode and I said no soap, so I was just out, that was it. And it just, sometimes it does work, okay, because you still have people talking about NSYNC, and you still have people talking about the Backstreet Boys, you still have people talking about New Kids on the Block, and of course the obvious knockoffs like O-Town, which that was very short-lived, that band. Yeah, the O-Town, a television show, again, trying to build upon that whole boy band.
Did you ever see when they gave making the band to Puff to Sean Combs' Puff Daddy? Did you ever see when they
P. Diddy?
When they basically they gave it, they had P. Diddy doing it instead of Lou what's his name, who did like the Backstreet Boys in Sync, and he created O-Town. They went an entirely different direction, and they let Sean Combs do it.
Yeah.
He made them walk from there and back to Queens for some sort of fucking cheesecake. To prove that they were willing to do whatever it took to make it in the business. And I can't believe.
Oh my God.
I can't believe these kids were not like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know I would have said, fuck you. I'm not going to go walking, 100 miles just to get a piece of cheesecake. Shit, I'm going down to Pepperidge Farm because they remember.
No, it was a specific place that they had to go get the cheesecake. And I just remember it because they all had to, and there's 10 or 12 of them. You don't need 10 or 12 of them to go out there and go pick up the cheesecake, but he didn't make all of them go. I mean,
man,
like I said, it was,
it's pretty low.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like intern shit,
Oh, it's beyond intern shit. It's beyond intern shit.
Well, yeah, it was beyond intern shit because they're going fucking, hundreds of miles for a piece of cheesecake. That's just, yeah.
Well, I don't know about hundreds of miles because we're.
Well, I'm just exaggerating just for a fact, but
No, I get it. Like I said, I just thought I'd mention because it's like that other group. It was funny. He had a girl group that was doing okay, and then it imploded off of that too, and I can't remember where any of them.
Well, I know. Well, but girl groups, came and went just as quick in that whole mix of things too. TLC. You had.
But TLC was a different circumstance.
Well, okay, yeah, that was a different thing. But then you had.
I can't remember what happened. I can't remember if she died or if she committed suicide.
One of them died in a car wreck.
Left Eye Lopez of TLC. She died in a plane. That's crash.
What it was.
No, it was a car wreck.
Was it a car wreck? Oh,
no, you're thinking of Rihanna.
Oh, that's right. I am thinking of Rihanna. You're correct.
No, it's not Rihanna.
Not Rihanna.
It's Aaliyah.
Not Rihanna.
It's Aaliyah. Aaliyah is the other one you're
thinking of. Aaliyah, that was her name.
You're not Rihanna. Aaliyah. Aaliyah, the bald chick from Star Trek, the motion picture?
No, not the bald chick.
No.
Mike tried to throw Star Trek into the show.
Okay, now he's trying to segue into a whole different direction. Now he's bringing up Star Trek.
Too much music talk and Mike starts to get punchy. I understand.
Yeah. He's just sitting there chomping at the bit.
It's not about Phil Collins or Matthew.
If it's not about triples, then he's not about it, man.
No.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so as we segue into the next part of our
and of course Al TV. I never got to watch Al TV live because it was always on odd hours, and I couldn't I didn't have a means of recording it on a VHS when they came out.
LTV.
Yeah.
When Weird Al would take over MTV and for an hour or two.
Wasn't that the idea for UHF for the movie?
No, that was a different premise. But
well, that was a different premise.
MTV, was instrumental in him. I mean, when Michael Jackson would let him use the sets before they scrapped the sets to recreate almost shot for shot his parody videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
That fat suit. I gotta tell you that when I saw Al in concert, that fat suit is impressive. And
yeah.
No, I mean to be able to do some of that stuff and that they maintain that thing and he still got it to this day is
well, it's nothing but amazing.
They bring it out in concerts.
Yeah, he's shelved. He hasn't done any of like the Michael Jackson songs live. He's put them in some medleys, but he's kind of put his Michael Jackson parodies on the back burner because of recent scandals.
When I saw him, it was definitely part of what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, I know he's done some song chopping, things he doesn't do in concert anymore.
But music video, it's MTV brought it to the forefront.
Exactly.
It changed the pop culture and music industry.
Music.
Movies.
It changed the face of music and movies forever. How we view music. It's changed it forever.
Yeah.
All right. So Mike, what have you done this week?
Watched Kingdom on Netflix, the third part of this animated Transformers War for Cybertron series, and I'm glad it's over.
Why?
It had its moments. There were some great visuals. The music was good, and although the story was just not kind of there, and a lot of the voice acting, because this studio that Rooster Teeth has, they're all non-union voice actors, so the voice cast was just not as stellar. There were some good actors. There were just some good voice acting in it, but it just it didn't grab me, and the story was just kind of there, and
just kind of lackluster. Huh?
Yeah, and I'm glad it's over. It's done.
Wow.
It's done.
I would have never thought in my whole life that I would actually hear Mike say about a Transformer franchise that he is glad that it's over.
Oh yeah, the fifth one, the last night was. I watched it a grand total of one time.
I saw that in the theater.
Wasn't even compelled to buy the DVD of that. But so I'm glad it was worth. I got to use my sister's Netflix account, so I didn't have to pay to watch it on Netflix.
You didn't pay to get butthurt.
Yeah. I still think that they should do the crossover. They should do the Fast Furious Transformers crossover.
Sure. Why not?
I still think they should do it.
I think they should.
I don't know. They're surely not going to do anything with G.I. Joe. This Snake Eyes movie tanked. So
that's
gonna end up going on. That's gonna be a peg warmer on a shelf.
This, like I said, this Kingdom series that just came out, the delay of the Rise of the Beast movie, which is supposed to come out in summer 2022. Now they pushed it to December 2022. So
it's gonna end up being December 2023.
Yes, bad news for Hasbro's IPs as far as media.
I really do think with G.I. Joe, I think that they've been going about this the wrong way. I think they really need to...
What would you do to fix the G.I. Joe franchise?
If I did, the first thing I would do is I would re-examine... I get that you've created all these characters and that you created back in the 80s, but that was back in the 80s. And to me, I think that it might be time to re-examine and re-evaluate what G.I. Joe needs to look like in the 2020s. Look, once upon a time, G.I. Joe was one guy. Okay.
Yeah, he was the first. G.I. Joe was the first action figure.
Right. He was one guy, and then magically in the 80s, he became an entire team, and there was Cobra, and they magically showed up, and that was that. I think it's time for them to take another look at maybe there needs to be another villain besides Cobra, or maybe there needs to be something else.
Maybe, I think maybe what they should do, just on the tip, let's take the best of both worlds. Okay, you have the Transformers and from outer space and that whole sensibility, and you go ahead and you take G.I. Joe and you make them an interstellar force. Okay, yeah, I know everybody's yelling, "Oh no, we don't need another Star Trek or Star Wars or anything like that." But I think it would make for a very interesting storyline.
Well, there have been several G.I. Joe Transformer crossovers in the comics.
Now, if you were,
why don't they concentrate on that a little bit?
Well,
they have, but it just never really gelled.
I mean, I will say this: there is the idea of what if you created their own entity, your own entity of, something of your own your own space alien force that comes to attack Earth, and then they have to defend Earth. That isn't Cobra or something like that.
That isn't Cobra related.
Well, actually, in season 3, they have done it in both the original cartoon and in the comics, where the G.I. Joes have worked together to fight outside forces, not just the Decepticons, but other threats from space. But it's just been in comic form, or just that it never really caught on, though, because
but that's comics. We're talking about.
I'm not talking about
in a film franchise, maybe, but we need to. They need to start grounded, though. We need to start something on Earth.
That's the other thing, which is at this point, if I were them, I don't know that I'm looking for a film franchise right now. I think that they need to go look at what Mattel did with He-Man and what they did with that, and take a look at something like that, whether it be animated, or maybe, quite frankly, a live action show. I don't know that. I mean, I know that they want that box office on this, but I think that they would be better off trying to figure out how to create something from a streaming perspective that gives them more opportunity. I think gives them 13 hours to, this Snake Eyes show. Really, in reality, it shouldn't have been a movie. What it should have been is a Paramount Plus show, and it should have been, 6 to 8 episodes, and then done that way, and done as something that can work along those lines. Because I believe they're working with Paramount, right?
Well, the thing is that the 80s purists weren't really resistant to this Snake Eyes film, because they changed its origin from the army into this ninja aspect.
No.
Well, and you got this situation where, with if you're going to start off any franchise, I think Snake Eyes would have fared better had they done a short run on a stream and then fire off into maybe a movie possibility if they had success in the streaming sensibility to greenlight an actual motion picture release.
Well, a 6 to 8 episode arc is going to cost about the same amount of money as a movie.
Right,
okay.
but
with streaming, nowadays, with streaming, going to get more eyeballs on it rather than in the movie theater.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go ahead, you put more eyeballs on it through a stream, the possibility of it being released, in another format, like say in the theater and everything, it might bring more attention and more, and more views for the product.
Yeah, because this Snake Eyes movie is tanking hard.
Yeah, well, and
that's sad to say.
I think that's something that the toy companies are going to have to think about or consider about what they're doing with their product in some ways, because I think that some of the product of where they're at right now, it's smarter if they start looking at the fact that, are we going to get people to pay? I mean, let's be honest. Are we going to get people to pay $10 to go to the movies right now? And that's the other thing. The other reason it's tanking. There's still a lot of people right now whose reaction is, unless it's something I really have to see, I'm not going.
I'm going to sit into a public place in a movie theater.
Right, I'm not going.
Theater, right, and that's
there'll be another big news that dropped this last week about that. We'll get into later.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't even see Jungle Cruise numbers. I haven't looked because I know that was this past weekend that was available for The Rock, And look, we all know The Rock is a huge draw, but
at the same time, it was available on Disney Plus for $30 at the same time, and it was in the theater.
Right, and currently, the movie that The Rock is in currently is in the theater right here, right down the street from my house, I don't see lines, I don't see droves.
Right. Well, and I don't know how much I put on that on. Again, this is the part where they're again, we've talked about this. We have a difference of opinion with the movie industry right now, which is, we need to open up and there needs to be movies and people are going to go to the movies and we just need to push it. And our reaction is very different because we've talked about the fact that, about the fact that we think that Warner Brothers' idea this year was a smart idea and it was incredibly savvy and it was the right move to make. And most of Hollywood is blasting them for it. Meanwhile, HBO Max numbers in terms of subscribers right now is through the roof because they made this move. And in the end, they're doing what they need to do right now.
Well, but now they're making bank. They're making bank, and they're smart about it.
Right. Well, and they're making more money one way or the other on this, and that doesn't mean, by the way, they're not putting it in the theaters. And we'll get to Suicide Squad a little bit later. But what else did you have going on this week?
Watched one episode of that animated Jellystone.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I watched one episode. I'm like, okay.
Was it the first one?
Yeah, just the first one with the two parts. Where the first one was where Yogi couldn't stop eating, and she put some kind of nuclear reactor in his stomach, and he ate everything. And then the second one was where they tried to wake up Grape Ape from this food coma. And so I watched it, and I'm like, okay, this was mildly entertaining. Like, it didn't blow me away.
I gotta tell you,
but I didn't hate it, but I wasn't compelled to watch another episode.
You know what? I didn't get to the second episode.
Neither did I.
The
second part. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a second part. I get to the Yogi thing.
Yeah. I read. I didn't watch it, but I did read a lot of commentary about it. Okay, I mean, because I'm
beware the comment section.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, because I belong to a page on Facebook called Cartoon Research. And, I get a lot of my input from that. And, some people were lambasting it, because, it got away from the character design. Oh, the writing is, they're trying to update it. They're trying to make the characters do things that would not otherwise. In other words, it becomes here we go with the purist once again, thinking that, we're going to try to make more of the same thing. No, folks, this is 2021, and we're trying to take iconic characters and we're trying to recreate them into what the pop culture will allow for them to live in. And you got, because all right, let's face it, Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, I mean, we can't forever have them being, bummy bears just stealing picnic baskets and doing all this other stuff.
Yeah, like we have Yogi, Boo Boo, and Sandy, is that her name? Cindy Bear.
Cindy Bear.
Without a Ranger Smith for the first time ever.
And,
well, at least, maybe there was other ones like the Laugh Olympics, and there were some other ones I might not be able to remember. But had a lot of the animal ones, and it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like urged to watch another one.
No, it did nothing for me.
I didn't even realize there was a second half. I mean, I honestly, they're near the end of the first part with the reactor stomach thing, and and the problem is that I'm not looking, and the thing is, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, would a kid find this funny? And I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe if they're 5.
Right, well,
with everything that's happening now, with that, with everything that's happening now, okay, some things need to still stay a product of their time, and let's face it, when you got Hanna-Barbera, it is a product of its time. Now, to try to bring a product of its time up into 2021 is not going to be an easy feat because, all right, you got a generation raised on technology, raised on the internet, raised on all of that. And
I'm going to push back on you on that a little bit.
Okay, push back.
I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I think, because I got to tell you, I think the idea and the concept of what they were trying to do works. And I like the idea of this Jellystone being a city where
I like that.
The setting where all these characters can interact.
Where all these all these characters can interact, and I think it's smart. And I don't have a problem with the animation. I just thought that it could be funny. The
dialogue and the writing could have fared better.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it could have been funnier. I think it could have been. I could have been.
But the episodes are free on HBO Max.
Right. And the only
check them out, and you come up with your own. You come up with your own conclusion on it.
The only other thing I was going to mention is, so I don't know if you caught this. So Jabberjaw is now a girl,
and Squiddly Diddly is voiced by a woman, I think.
Well, and
Augie Dog. That's right, Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy. Augie's a girl too.
Right, Augie's now a girl too, and I don't mind it.
No, I don't care.
Interesting.
It was still okay.
It made sense. I mean, there was a part of me going, wait, isn't he supposed to be a boy? But you know what? I get it, which is, you know what?
Well,
characters.
Yeah, okay, because of the fact that back in those days, I mean, it was a male dominant situation back in the day. So we're trying to make it a more inclusive situation with trying to, regender some of the characters, which I have no objection to regendering a character if it's done with a decorum of taste,
Right.
And you can tell they made an effort, and it was interesting the way they did it. I didn't hate it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try and watch another episode.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I may try another one.
Maybe I should just try and watch an episode and get my own perspective on this and come back with it next week.
Well, you need to get it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
I'll work it out.
But and in fairness, maybe it's that episode. Maybe it's because that was the first episode, and maybe that wasn't as good of an episode.
Maybe we're not giving it enough of a chance. Maybe all of us should. Maybe we should all go ahead and advance on it a little bit.
Well, especially you who just read the comments section.
Yeah, exactly.
I read the comments section and Cartoon Research, but it's a great page. It's a great page.
You got information from Boo Boo 69. I don't know. I mean,
Boo Boo 69? What?
Or Yogi loves Jellystone or something like that. I don't know. I mean,
Ivan, you should watch it and just make a determination or a judgment for yourself.
So anything else, Mike?
Yeah.
No, I had to drive into LaGrange the other day, and traffic was good. I heard there was a bad accident on the Dan Ryan today, but head back and had Five Guys on the way back for lunch, and man, oh man, that's that YouTube video with the guys singing about they made a song about the double cheeseburger, damn.
Speaking of songs, Jeff, you mentioned something on one of your columns about this is why I make fun of country music about a song about Applebee's is the top record in the country now.
Yeah, that Fancy Like song. Have you not heard this? It's like a big TikTok dance thing.
No,
that's what all the TikTokers are doing.
Yeah,
all
them TikTokers dancing and singing along to that country song.
Yeah, with those fast edits,
all those youngins.
It's like
all their fancy stuff.
Here, hold on. Let me find the lyrics because I think you're gonna get a kick out of this.
Okay, yeah, please.
Because it's funny. I had not heard the whole song. And when I hear the whole song, it's even worse than what I think it is.
So what is the name of the song for people?
It's called Fancy Like, and it's by Walker Hayes. And so it's gotten really popular because there's, I guess his daughter created a dance, and now it's kind of like one of those dance challenges. So here's how it starts, okay? All right. My girl is banging. She's so low maintenance. Don't need no champagne poppin' entertainment. Take her to Wendy's. Can't keep her off me. she want to dip me like them fries in her Frosty.
Okay.
Okay, so already we're already talking about Wendy's and Frosties, okay, in a damn
It's
song.
the same sentence.
Okay. Well, my favorite is like we're already talking about like low. We're talking about the lowest common denominator. Don't get me wrong, I like Wendy's and I like Frosties, but we're already talking about the lowest common denominator here. And here's the question: how much do you think Wendy's paid him to be in this song? Here's the best part. Here's where we get to the fun part. But every now and then, when I get paid, I gotta spoil my baby with an upgrade.
And then we go into the chorus.
Here we go. Yeah, we get fancy like Applebee's on a date night.
Oh,
that's your idea of an upgrade?
That's an upgrade up Applebee's? I mean, talk about champagne dreams on a beer budget, okay?
I don't know, but so let me read the rest here.
Yeah, finish the chorus.
So
Please.
It's yeah, we get fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Got that Bourbon Street steak with an Oreo shake. Got some whipped cream on top too. 2 straws, 1 check, girl, I got you. Bougie like Natty in the styrofoam. Squeaking in the truck bed all the way home. Some Alabama jamma. She my Dixieland delight. That's how we do it. Fancy like. I swear to God, that is the top. That is the hottest song in country.
Well, at least it's not WAP. So.
Well, at least it's a funny song and not a song that makes you want to go.
Looks like it's obviously tongue in cheek.
Without your tongue being in the cheek.
See, this is why I can't take country seriously. This is just another example of why I cannot take country music seriously. Seriously?
Well, okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
No, hold on a second, Ivan. Let's put this in perspective.
Okay.
Let's really put this in perspective.
Please,
really?
please.
You think you got some extra cash in your pocket and you're gonna take your girl out? First of all, you took your girl to fucking Wendy's for Frosties and fries.
Frosty and fries.
And you're alive? You're alive after
Oh my God!
Maybe it's the only, those small towns, man. Sometimes they only got one Wendy's.
How small it is. I mean, you gotta do better than that. Come on.
What in Squirrel Patch, Alabama, someplace where they got like one Wendy's and one Applebee's?
What the Shoney's wasn't available or something?
What happened to the Wags, man? Come on.
Yeah,
Wags. I don't think there's a Wags anywhere.
Yeah,
no, there's no Wags, no place. That's why I said what I said.
What, the Piggly Wiggly wasn't available or something?
We got about fancy frozen pizzas for dinner.
Yeah.
Hey man, we go down to the food barn,
Yeah, I mean, the part where it's like fancy like Applebee's.
On a date night.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Applebee's on a date night. Squeaky with the straws. Oh,
That's
God.
the best you got.
Oh, my God.
But you can get alcohol at Applebee's, so let's...
Yeah. Dude, go get...
you can get alcohol. Yeah, you can. You can get alcohol at Applebee's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the Applebee's we got down here on Fullerton, the Applebee's we got sells alcohol. They got
So I guess one of those 2 items is discontinued, and I'm not sure which, but because of the popularity of the song, they're talking about bringing it back.
What, the Bourbon Street steak or whatever the hell?
It's either the Bourbon steak or the Oreo shake. One of the 2 has been discontinued. And apparently...
Bourbon steak and Oreo shake. Now there's a clever language.
Yeah.
Clever language.
No, clever language.
Language. In the haven of eclectica.
Somewhere, I'm sure Waylon Jennings is somewhere sitting there going, now why didn't I come up with that?
Okay.
Maybe Shooter is. I don't know.
or Willie Nelson going, all I had to do was sing about Applebee's?
Yes. I'm gonna buy my Bourbon Street steak with my Oreo shake.
On the road again. I just can't wait till I get
on the roll again.
Yeah.
Looking for my Applebee.
I mean, dude, you got some extra money. Go to the store. Make a nice dinner, get some candles, do something nice. Don't
do something romantic. What the hell is that? I mean, come on, that's a second date. That's a guaranteed no second date happening type of thing there.
You know what? I don't care what kind of small town you live in. I don't care what kind of small town you live in. You know there's Amazon somewhere around there.
Oh, Amazon is everywhere.
Right, exactly. I mean, you can figure this out. This isn't exactly fucking difficult.
This isn't a fucking science, okay? Come on.
It just sounds like a fun.
Well, no, it sounds like
song.
something to be understood about country and western music. I know, Jeff, you're not a fan, whereas I am.
Not a big a fan as, say, someone like Dusty Wood.
Yeah, like Dusty Wood. Y'all hear that? Oh, Dusty Wood's over here. So anyway, so what I mean by that is, country western music has always had a slant on the pop culture sensibilities of their music. I mean, they know how to make fun of something, and that's what they do with a lot of their music. And
rest in peace, Dusty Hill.
Well, yes, and so it comes down to this: when with country western music, it's the everyday experience. Yeah, people make fun. Country songs, sure, cars, trucks, trains, mom, beer.
Well, the nice part is if you play it backwards, you get them all back.
Yeah, you get them all back. So here's the thing. So I guess I could kind of see the comic appeal of this type of a song. I mean, cause, alright, if you were to go back to country western music, you have, Tom T. Hall, I like beer. It makes me a jolly good fellow. I like beer. It helps me unwind, and sometimes it makes me feel mellow.
Yeah,
whiskey too rough, champagne costs too much, and vodka puts my mouth in gear. So let me explain what helps me, so let me refrain to help me explain as a matter of fact.
Refrain to explain the beer. Yes.
Right. So, yeah, Tom T. Hall.
I just never understood why they all have to have a twang in their voice.
Because that's how they talk down there.
That's how they talk down there.
The Huckleberry Hound.
That's right. Heavens to Murgatroyd, stage left.
Johnny Cash doesn't have a twang.
Yes, he does have a twang.
Yes, he does.
Not really. Not later.
Oh, well, the twang was buried under echo in the first 20 years of his recording career.
Yeah,
but
all the recordings of Sun, he had a
huge twang.
I mean, but Elvis didn't have like that kind of twang. Where
it's because Elvis Presley, his country sensibilities were put as a part of his career choices. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was steeped not only in the gospel, which that was his first music love, which then radiated into his love of rhythm and blues, and then pop music. And he was just this beautiful stew of wonderful sounds. And
I loved his cover of "He'll Have to Go." It's probably one of my favorites.
It's a great song.
Jim Reeves.
Jim Reeves is great. I love Jim Reeves.
Let's put this in perspective. I mean, like Taylor Swift. It's kind of funny. Like Taylor Swift, when she started, she had the twang, and now magically, no more twang. Gee, I wonder how that happened.
Well, but see, you're talking Taylor Swift, okay? You're talking about the new front of country and western artists, or
even like Keith Urban. He's Australian, but he sang with a country accent. Shania Twain is Canadian.
Okay, yeah, so is Katie Lang. Canadian.
Yeah, but hold on a second. But Shania Twain doesn't really have a twang.
Oh, yeah. I feel like a woman.
Yeah. Dwight Yoakam. Dwight Yoakam's got a twang a mile long.
Not like a Dolly Parton kind of twang. Shania does not. No.
Well, Shania, she's got a subtle twang, where unlike Dolly, she's got a straight out Appalachian twang when she sings. And that's very evident when she sings. When you listen to Porter Wagner, same thing. You listen to, unlike you listen to artists like Patsy Cline, who do not have a twang, and their music transcended not only from country, but into actual popular music all along. Same thing with Jim Reeves. Jim Reeves doesn't have a twang, but he's, but his music managed to cross over. Same with Kitty
Hey,
Wells.
Look, all I'm going to say is the Blues Brothers get it right. We got two kinds of music, country and western. Yeehaw!
Well, yeehaw.
And chicken wire, yeah.
Good old boys.
Yep.
I think those lights were turned off on purpose.
I don't have anything else this week. They had a game night. We played a D&D board game.
How was it?
It was fine. Just played with tiles. It's not like with pen and paper. We just played with like game tiles. It's like
so it wasn't like a role builder.
It wasn't true.
Like
it was a D&D board game where it was heavily influenced or played the same manner almost as D&D. But we don't have a D&D.
I wonder how much Hasbro's nervous about that.
Trying to Dungeons and Dragons movie there you want to make?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're having trouble with the in fairness, that's
they tried.
Thing.
Remember when World of Warcraft was so huge, and they made the Warcraft movie, and that didn't really.
Nobody wanted to see.
Nobody wanted to see it.
Nobody wanted to see that.
Nobody really wanted to see.
I think it was maybe because it was like a year or two past the zeitgeist of World of Warcraft. It was too late.
Right. Yeah. It was too late.
Yeah.
The problem is it took itself too seriously too. I mean, it tried to be like this big, huge, big war action movie. I'm sure it was great, but the problem is that nobody was like. It was like they'd have been better off going like inside baseball and being like a bunch of kids playing Warcraft and then that kind of way. And
again, something that would have been. I think that would have been more fitting. Here we go again as a streaming device against it being a motion picture. So here we go again with that whole thing.
More Jumanji style.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a Jumanji style.
Okay, so what did you do, Jeff?
Jeff. Yeah, like I said, I'd be nervous. I'd be a little bit nervous because there's a lot of people looking forward to this D&D movie, and D&D is still Dungeons and Dragons has still been really, really still hot, and in fairness, they're doing a lot of little things to make that continue to go. So we'll see. What did I do this week? So I ended up speaking on Saturday for a group of about 40, and that was pretty cool. It was a last minute thing after I got my tooth pulled, and now I look like a white version of Michael Strahan at the moment. I got an entire part where I'm like a toothless guy. There's that. So. Which is always fun. And then, I checked out Jellystone, and I didn't get through the first episode. So I'll see if I feel like taking another look at it. I finally got to season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, that came out?
Yeah, there's a season 2. It's only about eight episodes, I think. Not, it's all right, but nothing really kind of as amusing or funny as season 1, and nothing really ooh-ah or titillating. I'm under the impression there's a season 3 that's been given already a green light, but season 2 was very underwhelming. Kind of disappointing, to be perfectly honest.
It's got the feel of a cold pizza.
Yeah, so for Ivan's point, so Love, Death, and Robots is from the guys who did Deadpool, and it's kind of got, I wouldn't call it heavy metal, but it has that kind of a feel.
That kind of vibe.
That kind of vibe, but it's not really a heavy metal kind of vibe, and it's like little stories that don't fit together, and they're not, I mean, some of them are like 10 minutes,
vignettes,
7. Yeah, kind of vignettes, and you can watch them in any order. But season 2, I didn't find nearly as good as season 1. Or maybe I was just looking for, there were a couple in season 1 that were really pretty interesting and pretty funny. And in season 2, they just didn't have that. Or there were some that were really, really interesting that I enjoyed. I mean, that's not to say there weren't a couple that were okay, but a lot of them I was just like, okay, they're just there for me and they're not doing anything.
Was there any hope of having a continuation of one of the vignettes in season 2?
No.
You don't think they would have been able to do that?
Well, it's funny because it's not like they built upon anything from season 1.
But I mean, if there was a fan favorite of one of episodes of season 1. I think maybe they could make a part 2 in season 2.
I'm sure they could, but they didn't. You know, they told entirely different stories here. So, you know.
Yeah.
Something you find amusing, Ivan?
Yeah.
Something you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
Yes, Ivan.
Passing notes?
Sure, call it that. Yeah, you can call it that.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Is that kind of like Applebee's on a Saturday night? Is that what you were doing there?
Well, I've had a couple of apples, man. I ate them to the core.
Wow. Okay, that sounds a little kinky. Something. Okay. The one thing I did see this week that was really good though, is off of Netflix. I did see Gunpowder Milkshake finally, and that was.
What is that about?
So Gunpowder Milkshake is a action film, and it's about a girl whose mom was a professional killer, and the mother disappears, and then the daughter goes into the same business and ends up in a situation where she gets hunted by the firm. And again, the best way to put it is, it's very spaghetti western, and it's,
Did it have meatballs?
No, it did not have meatballs. It's very spaghetti western. It's kind of got a little bit of a Kill Bill feel to it.
Ah.
I really enjoyed it.
I like Kill Bill.
It was very well done. It was very well executed, and I would give it 4.5 yeah-mans. I mean, it was really.
Oh. Okay.
It's a good 2-hour watch. I don't want to give too much away, but you know, there's certainly some, you know, some interesting ideas and some different concepts. And in fairness, I really kind of hope that we get. I hope we get another. I hope we get another in this series, because it was well done, and I thought it was a really great movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. So to me, that was kind of a cool thing. And then, you know, Sunday Night Stories was we had about close to 30 people. We had about 6 or 7 storytellers last night, so on Sunday night, and you know, ranging from talking about smelling people on airplanes to I'm trying to think of some of the other things that got talked about. But, you know, it was a good show, and we had, you know, we always have a great show on Sunday nights on Clubhouse. Ironically, we're on Clubhouse now, and we've had some people pop in and out. We've had a couple people pop in and out, and I think they're kind of like, what's going on here? They pop in, they pop out, and because we're not doing the Clubhouse normal thing, like, oh, hey, how are you? While we're in the middle of a conversation. But we've had a couple people. Well, in fairness, we were kind of doing our thing, and that's fine. But yeah, I think that's kind of me for the week. Ivan, what's going on with the wonderful world of the spinning wheel, or the wheel of spinning, or are you spinning?
The wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Yeah, or what are you doing? Are you spinning Julie right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round?
Well, okay. Here's what's happening at the spinning wheel this week. Okay, and
all my spinning wheel, right?
All my spinning wheel. So yeah, Mr. Jimmy Temple, the patriarch of the spinning wheel, and his, you know, the Temple family, opened up their first open venue in England. You know, live DJ, live dance floor, the whole 9 miles. That, from all accounts that I've seen on video and pictures, it looks like it was quite the success. Followed by Jimmy's trip to the legendary twisted wheel, which basically is what the spinning wheel is modeled after. And so Jimmy got to come back home to his friend Pete Roberts, and had this marvelous time. And meanwhile, here's truly over here having to take care of other things and not being swept up by the whole spinning wheel dream. Has retired from being administrator as of today, actually. And so I'm no longer administrator, and I'm just concentrating my sensibilities now on trying to get a hold of this apartment, plus a number of other things I need to address here in real life. And I will be, coming back from time to time in a DJ capacity, but not in an administrative capacity because it's
too much paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's just too much paperwork. You're right.
Too much bullshit.
Well, just too much paperwork. So I just, so I stepped down and I've did a page change to my own Facebook page. It used to be Rivera's Record Rebel.
I haven't changed the name of his show.
Of the page, yeah, it's called now the Jive and Ivan's Vibe Tribe, which the page on Facebook now reads, and it seems to be getting a lot more people in it, and it's not as music heavy, it's more humor. It's more like people just kind of speaking their minds and just let it all hang out and just being really funny and somewhat raucous. But it's just basically Jive and Ivan's Giggle Snort Hotel, giggle snort, that type of thing. Millions of other people posting, insidious, lascivious, and just totally outlandish, things, including yours truly, who finds things on the internet and wants to share them with the page. And it's just a lot of funny, ha-ha type of moments in that page now, and with the occasional posting of a song or two. So Jive and Ivan's Vibe Tribe, new page, folks, if you want to join. It's a private page. If you got something funny to say, if you want to use all 7 curse words, you may. Just be respectable in the delivery of such 7 words, but, and respectable to the people on the page. But yeah, it's a fun time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm kind of concentrating on that. It's basically the record den, but for comedy and for just commiserating and just, laughs and things like that. Just when I do the Rivera Random Records, it'll be just like, okay, here we are, just nothing planned, nothing, like on a schedule like I was at Spinning Wheel.
Has anyone asked to spin on your Facebook page?
I don't know yet, because the name change just went into effect.
But you've had your own Facebook group.
I'm sorry?
You've had your own Facebook group for a while where you would spin not just on Spinning Wheel or not just on Twitch at Java and Ivan.
I did the Rivera Random Records just on regular Facebook. I just did it off my own page.
Oh, okay.
And now I have this page kind of, separate, from what I do off of my own page. But okay. I just, it's just a place for, just to get together and just let it all hang out, and in the presentation of the charter, I said right at the bottom, they can't put us all in Facebook jail. And because the majority of the people that I have on Jive and Ivan's Vibe Tribe have been at least in jail at least once. So it's kind of a funny thing.
Not me, not yet, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. You haven't been put in Facebook jail. And, we sit there, we jaw about the fact that Facebook is just taking every little thing and just, exploding it into, you are not going to be on for 30 days or you're not going to be on for 14 days. In fact, also, I have a new company stringing up all of my videos now and telling me we have commandeered your videos, but under this different heading. And I think what Facebook did was they finally outsourced they finally outsourced the controlling of the copyrights with the music. So it's like, all right. And so I went on my page the other day and I had 55 messages. And when I went to the messages, I kept scrolling upward and it was like, this video has been commandeered. This video has been commandeered. And I'm just like,
well, it's been muted or was just removed or what?
They just this is still muted. We're still looking at this, And I'm thinking they're just gathering it up. Colleen Riles has something to say. Invite them to speaker. Yeah, there's a girl named Colleen here.
Yep, she's in the room.
Oh, okay,
Jeff
great.
Jeff is coordinating.
Okay, cool. Hello, Colleen.
I'm on mute. Hi, Colleen. Welcome to Squares of the Roundtable podcast. So this is the podcast that I have been doing with my buddies Ivan and Mike, and we talk about pop culture and a lot of different pieces. So welcome, and thanks for coming and hanging out, I guess.
Hi, Colleen. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Say hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Okay, and as I was talking about, it seems like it's more and more apparent what's happening on Facebook in the way of people being able to say and do things on Facebook, and without people getting, hit with 30-day jail times, 14-day jail times. So that's what basically a lot of the people in Jive and Ivan's Vibe Tribe we've all got this thing. It reminds me of John Waters. When you come on his movie set, one of the first things he'll ask you is, have you ever been arrested? And surprisingly, every actor that's ever been in any of his movies have been at least arrested at least once. So it's pretty funny. So this just kind of reminded me of all that. But yeah, so I'm just basically concentrating more now, like just getting the apartment in order. And then also, yesterday, today being Monday, but yesterday, Sunday, I had gone to Kohl's. I went back to open for the first time, because Kohl's is opening up there Sunday.
Did you get socks this time?
Did I get socks?
Yeah.
Not that Kohl's.
Not that Kohl's. Kohl's, C-O-L-E-S. Yes, on Milwaukee Avenue, 2338 North Milwaukee. I was DJing.
Where's that? Because there's some people.
Chicago. Chicago, Illinois.
I don't think Colleen knows anything about Chicago. You got to understand.
Okay, here we go. Well, in Chicago, Illinois, we have an area in Chicago, Illinois called, the district, and the district encompasses a couple of city blocks filled with nothing but clubs. And in one of these clubs called Kohl's, I was spinning on Sunday for the first time, and it was odd to sit there and spin with a mask on. That was so bizarre. But nonetheless, I was going to be safe because of the fact that the new Delta strain has kind of reared its ugly head. But
you should take Dramamine if you're going to spin.
Well, yeah. So with that, it was an interesting thing. I streamed it on Twitch. I had a couple of false starts, but then finally got it where Twitch was actually working correctly. So that worked out well. And,
Twitch isn't muting your videos live. They're waiting until afterward.
They wait till afterwards
That's
to mute
good.
them down. But at least I get the thing out there, and once it's out there, I mean, it's already done. It's like broadcasting, once it's out there, then whatever happens to it, I don't care. But yeah, it was great. I did a summer 60s, early 70s set of music, and I had a good amount of people in there. I was surprised, getting some of the people from Lousy Palooza, up in there, which, that was this weekend, and I seem to be getting a lot of, feedback about Lollapalooza not being as good as it used to be. So yeah, I'm just like.
Yeah, but we hear that every year.
Oh, Food Fighters closed, so they're the.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Foo Fighters, hey, Food Fighters.
I still go back to when I found that Music City documentary, or Sound City documentary.
Oh yeah, that Sound City. Yeah, I saw that in the theater. I actually saw that at the at that rat trap called the Patio.
That was a fantastic
that was a great documentary.
Yeah.
Great documentary. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So so
you didn't watch anything on television? No
Did I watch anything on television? Well, Julie cleaned up on Outlander. She actually watched the entire what was it, 3rd, 4th, and 5th seasons?
No, we only go to 4th. I finished up all the way through the 4th.
Yeah, she's finished up all the way through the 4th, which means I just kind of dropped in. In fact, my mother was kind of hooked up on the whole Outlander thing, and that's how Julie learned about it, and then she got swept up in it, and here it is, I'm sitting in the chair in the middle of the night, and all you see is this little screen, and there she is with the headphones, and she's going one right after the other. I'm just like, wow. I managed to see some of it, and I thought it was really good. Outlander, I thought it was really good, and my understanding it's been greenlit for another season, so that ought to be interesting. And I think I'm gonna actually go back to the beginning and just complete it, so that way I can say, yeah, I've seen the whole thing, and then I can give you a total synopsis on it. But from what I've seen, it's a really good series. What else have I seen? Well, no, I don't think. No, I've been too busy with other things, to actually kind of look at the television set much. But yeah, I got, once all is said and done, though, I'm gonna get the HBO Max. I want to check out Jellystone. I want to check out some of the other shows. Yesterday when I was at Kohl's, I got to see another show. I think it was on. I don't know if it was on HBO Max or if it was on Netflix. I Thought You Were Leaving, I think was the name of the show, and I got to watch a little bit of it when I was there, and it was really kind of interesting. So I think I might ramp up the Netflix and catch all of that and see what that's about. That might be something that might be worth watching. What I got to see was, it's raucously funny. I mean, it's very, it does border on very raunchy, but it kind of pops off as funny at the same time. It's filled with evil giggles, so that's I can pretty much surmise that. But other than that, everything has just been rolling along and just getting ready for the big move out of this caboose.
When is that going to happen?
Well, I'm hoping.
You live in a caboose?
Well, I'm hoping to get out. I'm hoping to get out here by at least September or October. So that's the goal. That's the goal. So there you go.
You need to find a place to live.
Well, I need to I want to find a nice place to live.
Place to keep your stuff.
Yeah, a place to do what?
Yeah, really.
Go ahead.
It's more like keeping Ivan's stuff than anything like that. I mean, the amount of records that are piled up in Ivan's places,
Yeah, I know it's obnoxious, right?
It's more about Ivan's records than it is about Ivan, quite frankly.
Well, I'm gonna be putting a lot of this stuff in storage until,
that's dicey, isn't it?
Well, I'm putting it into storage because. One, there are certain things I have to take care of before I get into the new place. And two, it gives me a chance to actually start whittling things down. If I got everything in one spot instead of all over the house, then I can actually, focus on, doing what I need to do, to take the fat off of the collection. But then Mike knows I've been trying to take the fat out of the collection for as long as I've known Mike too. So it's kind of like the ongoing joke,
Yeah, why don't we just gonna admit that the collection's gonna be fat and so be it?
Yeah, well, I would like it to be fat and so be it. Problem is, this fat boy over here is just, it's getting tired of lugging it around, so.
Well, yeah.
When your prized possessions start to weigh you down.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You could be like Applebee's on a Saturday.
Applebee's on a Saturday night with a steak and an Oreo shake.
It'd be all fancy like that, playing your record.
Yeah. That still cracks me up. In fact, I got Chef Special actually emailed me saying that they want to start a country and western night over there at their place. I'm like, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you know what? You got to play that just to see what reaction you can get.
Well, I you know what? If I can find it on a vinyl,
you'll find it.
I'll find it. I know I'll find it. You know me. All right. So there's my life right there in a nutshell. So
we do have a guest, so I guess we should add.
You know what? She's been listening politely. So we like to go ahead and bring Colleen in. How you doing, Colleen?
If she's still here.
Her mic is muted.
I'm doing great. I'm just listening and learning.
Okay.
Well, if you've ever find entertainment. Huh?
I was going to say, if you've got questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, please, by all means.
Do you DJ or something? Is that what you're saying? You do clubs and stuff? You, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you.
I've been. Well, there's all three of us. We've all DJ'd. We've all worked on radios, so
Right.
that's why I was making sure that it was clear that it was directed to me. Thank you, Colleen.
You're welcome. I forgot your name. Sorry, I didn't look.
Oh, my name is Ivan.
Ivan. Yep, now Ivan. I remember.
Yes, Driving Ivan. That's what I've been known since 1973, and I've been in the DJ gig for a long time. And yes, I DJ around town here in Chicago. I've been doing it for many, many years. And with my partners, Jeff and Mike, we were on radio together for a number of years on AM radio. And then, of course, Jeff has done some FM as well. And, so we just a bunch of radio guys getting together here and talk about whatever it is that comes on our minds. But as far as me is concerned, I spin at several clubs here in Chicago, a number of different genres. I guess you would call me an open genre DJ because I've spin most everything that's available to me, and I've been collecting since 1965.
Oh my goodness.
And so yeah, I mean, if it's rhythm, blues, soul, rock, R&B, country western. I mean, I just, I dabble in, my palette is dabbled in many different musical colors. So I kind of, pick up the gigs where I get them. I am executor to Moon Soul Music LLC, and so it's just, music is my business. The card says it all. Moon Soul Music, records for hire.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I guess I would call you eclectic.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's a haven of eclectica.
That's for sure.
Can I ask Mike about himself?
Well, yeah. Well, I've had a knack for voices, and I thought radio would be fun, so I tried my hand at it for a while, and that's how I met these two gentlemen here. And I've always had it on the forefront. Me and Ivan have done some fun stuff together, and as far as just like collaborative efforts and whatnot. But then a few years ago, Jeff said, "Let's start a podcast." So I was like, "Okay, I'll have a hand at it," and so here we are.
Right on.
Here we are.
That's amazing. So, what was it like to do your very first podcast? What was it like for you? Was it like radio, or was it different? It
had a different vibe because it's just like it wasn't live, not like this. Well, this is actually our first live broadcast on Clubhouse tonight.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we used to just record and then we'd post it out to the internets later. But this is actually happening right now.
So are we doing a podcast right now?
Yes, we are recording a podcast.
Holy moly. I didn't know
you're going to be on our podcast. This is episode number what, Mike?
159.
That rocks. I've never been on a podcast in my life.
Well, congratulations.
Well, congratulations. You have just made your first appearance, Colleen.
Thank you. And Jeff, I know a little about you, but how about you tell me some secrets that I don't know? Like, I know you're a voiceover coach.
Yeah, so once upon a time I worked in broadcast radio, and I did sports back in the day, and I did public affairs, and I worked for a bunch of small little stations that nobody's ever heard of. And then, and then, no, I'm serious. Well, we didn't get into those stories tonight. Once in a while we're going to get into those, and those are always kind of amusing. Cause we all worked for radio stations, but we all worked for crappy radio stations.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah. One of the best kinds because they're the best stories. So yeah, but, and then I've been working in promotional products for the last 10 plus years, and then I do some speaking on the side. But, I'm always been a big fan of stuff like Star Wars, Marvel, comic books, all that kind of stuff. And so that's stuff that Ivan and Mike and I talk about, and then we talk about music too a little bit as well. So we dabble, and it's kind of funny. All the stuff we used to talk about back in the 90s when we used to do a show, and everybody said nobody's ever going to listen to that, is all the stuff that everybody wants to talk about now. So it's kind of amusing that now it's like we were about 20 years ahead of our time.
How ironic.
That's funny. I love it.
That's okay.
So do you collect comic books, Jeff?
I used to collect quite a bit, and now I don't anymore.
I bought them to take him out of his gambling debt. No, that's not true.
No. I wish
Did you
did.
really
I'm just kidding.
I would have made a lot more money with that. So
My husband actually has the first 7 Silver Surfers.
Wow. Okay,
Excellent condition. Yeah.
No, that's
awesome.
money right there.
Pretty cool, huh? Maybe he can send me to public speaking coaching, right?
Yeah, with those you can do a lot more than that.
You probably buy an Oldsmobile.
Yeah, we could trade you one for some coaching, right?
Yeah, probably at that point.
Teasing.
But you can sit there work a barter system with Jeff. Okay, I want 7 lessons. I'll give you one every week.
But Silver Surfer's Marvel. He's more of a DC guy.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
Oh no, yeah, no. Hey, I can still barter with Silver Surfer and use those elsewhere, but I'll admit, I'm not a Silver Surfer guy. I mean, I'm not against him. It's just that's never been one of those characters that I've been a big.
So what sports did you do, Jeff? What sports did you do?
For radio, I just talked about. I did sports talk. That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
So I did sports talk. I didn't do anything in particular. Like today, I would be very, very, very all over the place talking about NBA free agency and stuff like that, and that would be fun. Only because the Bulls are finally doing something. Hallelujah.
Chicago. Do you live in Chicago too?
Yeah, we all live in
Chicago. Yes, we all are.
We all in the Chicago area.
I came from Michigan originally. I lived in Michigan. I was born there. I lived there for years until I was, 20, something in my 20s somewhere. And only time I ever went to Chicago is when I would have the guts to ride one of those Greyhound buses. And the transfer point was Chicago, and you had a layover. And that was the worst place I've ever been in my life. Is that
sounds about right?
Yeah.
Hey, Colleen, we have our poll question tonight. If your husband had a little something extra to take you out and take you someplace, what would your reaction be if he took you to Applebee's for a bourbon steak and an Oreo shake?
Well, I don't mind Applebee's. I mean, really, honestly, I don't. Because it's, I like their riblet platter, and you can't get it anywhere else.
Okay.
I'm good. I mean, but if he had a lot of extra money and he took me to Applebee's, I'd be thinking, where is the rest of your money?
Okay, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's like if he took you out for a fancy dinner and I'm taking you to Applebee's. That's not gonna fly.
We better stop at K's afterward.
Right, that's not a fancy dinner, man.
No, that's after 5. That's after 5 when you're going ahead and having the drink special and the $10 platter.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we were talking earlier. You missed it. Before you came in, we were talking. There's this new hot country song where they talk about being fancy like Applebee's, and it's like there ain't nothing fancy about Applebee's at all.
No, there's nothing fancy about Applebee's.
It's just like Denny's, except they don't pay the light bill.
There we go.
Denny's, but they don't pay their light bill. That's great.
That's why it's dark in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, but that's it. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I do know we have a couple other things to go over, and but Colleen, we're happy to have you be a part of that
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
All right.
And you don't have to mute. If you've got a question or you hear something interesting, pop in.
Yes, please.
We do have a couple of things. I'm looking at time, and I'm like, how much longer we want to do this tonight? But yeah. So to answer your question that we had earlier about Jungle Cruise, 34.2 million here in America, plus another $30 million on Disney Plus, and they're saying another $27.6 million overseas for a total world box office of $91.8 million.
Well, that's The Rock. He's a big draw.
But in fairness, that wouldn't. They're comparing it similar to that Rampage movie that The Rock did. That it's a similar number to that, and but keep in mind, this is post-pandemic versus that being pre-pandemic. I'll be curious to see what those numbers look like down the road, and I don't know. We'll see.
Because I'm going to go see Jungle Cruise with Julie, this week. So yeah, I'll be able to give you an inside track on that.
Say hi to Skipper Dan for me.
I certainly will.
Skipper Dan.
That's a Weird Al song. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like the Forrest Gump guy, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, we did. I did talk last week about the Netflix series, the Movies That Made Us, season 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get a chance to look.
Yeah, and the Jurassic Park one was okay.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Just okay?
Yeah, it was just okay. I liked the most interesting one was Pretty Woman. Because that's the one I knew the least about.
Was Jurassic Park scary in the dark?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Well, you're the Weird Al guy. I figured I'd go for the Weird Al reference,
Yeah. MacArthur? That's right. That was his parody of MacArthur's Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Jurassic Park is scary in the dark. Yeah. I figured you.
Yeah, you hit that on the head there, Jeff. Okay.
So there was a Ghostbusters trailer.
Yeah, that dropped Tuesday morning, and that was.
What did you guys think of the whole new story?
It seems the trailer had a more serious vibe to it, and Ghostbusters was known for its comedy.
Yeah.
But it seems like with this trailer, they had a more serious tone to it.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern with this is that I feel like, and they make a real big effort to make sure that you don't see any of the original cast in this thing. So to me, it's kind of, I get it. They're trying to hold that off, and they're trying to not show it to anybody, but I don't know.
So how do you get people to come to it based upon the trailer? The trailer seems very vague.
No. Mean, there's enough to it to draw people. But again, I do think it's interesting because now they're making it like Ghostbusters is more of a big action thriller versus Ghostbusters when we were a kid. Part of it was an action thriller, but it was funny, and there was a lot of funny moments where when we saw the trailers, we were like, "Oh, that's funny! I want to watch that. That's funny."
Well, yeah, because back in its original concept of the Ghostbusters, you had Ivan Dixon as director.
Ivan Reitman, not
Ivan Reitman.
Reitman, sorry. I always get him mixed up with the guy from Hogan Hero, sorry. And
there's a big difference.
Well, all right. Anyway, but
That's like mixing up Colonel Klink and Colonel Sanders.
Oh God, that's funny.
One of them's from
all right. I'll take that. Okay, noted. Anyway, so, but that was because you had all these heavy-hitting comedic great actors in the original Ghostbusters, and then it was reconfigured, years later, and of course, we all had our opinions of that. Now they're reconfiguring it again.
Well, this time with, seems like Eon Spengler's kids.
Right. Well, but here's the thing. Even with the all-female version, they did, as much as I didn't find it nearly as funny, they did try to go comedy. And in fairness, they have Paul Rudd, a.k.a. the Ant-Man. And so, to me, I imagine there's an element of humor, given who they brought in for this. But there's another part of me where I'm kind of like, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more humor in it, and that in the trailer, and that's just me.
Well, maybe they're hiding all the humor, so that way that's the big when you get to the streaming or get to the theater to see what the rest of the movie's like. It's got this ominous type of thing going on.
But they did tease at the very end of the trailer. They teased because she goes on YouTube and watches the old TV commercial for the Ghostbusters in New York, and she dials the number, and Ray Stantz answers. Dan Aykroyd's character answers the phone.
Yeah, that's the only thing we get.
But we have through because I'm a toy guy. Through Hasbro Pulse, we've seen toy spoilers or toilers of Ray Stantz, Peter Venkman, and Winston Zeddemore in their Ghostbuster suits as older versions of themselves.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, sure enough, we're probably going to see Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson, along with Dan Aykroyd, ghostbusting as usual.
Well, right. We know they're in the movie because that's been a given. Again, to me, I just think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting they made a decision not to go with any real humor to this much at all, versus go totally action, suspense, almost kind of thriller aspect to it a little bit, which is kind of strange.
Well, they're going to have you'll have the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Men.
Yeah.
So there will be like that comedy aspect, but we'll see as we get closer. We'll get more trailers, more reveals, and I'd be tempted to see this in the theater.
That's a Sony executive somewhere going, we need a baby Yoda.
Yeah, now we need a baby Stay Puft. Well, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man became iconic with the Ghostbusters franchise in the first movie. I don't even know if Stay Puft was in the second film with because they focused on Vigo, the guy from the painting, but I don't think Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was in it at all. He was prevalent in the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
It's Vigo. That guy, as much as that movie was bad, that was kind of funny, that guy.
Yeah, that did help.
It's like, you don't understand. He's Vigo. He's magnificent. He's the Vigo.
Well, it's one of my favorite. Ghostbusters 2 had its moments, like the one line where they two in the box, ready to go. We be fast and they be slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and there's Bobby Brown had a pretty good hit song off of that was in that movie too, which is Control was a big hit for Bobby Brown, and he actually has a cameo in there as well. But it's a decent movie. I mean, come on, we have a dancing toaster and a walking Statue of Liberty. So I mean,
a dancing Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to pass that up?
But obviously, the kid-friendly move they made after the success of the first one. I mean, in the first Ghostbusters, they all smoked, but nobody smoked in the second one.
Ghostbusters, what do you want? Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that.
Like I said, so looking just to see what else we've got that isn't more of an upcoming thing, because I know we got to get to those too. Because of Suicide Squad being out or coming out, David Ayer is out talking about what didn't happen with his cut of Suicide Squad. So that's on the Squares of the Roundtable Facebook page. You can see. Here's the part I thought was interesting. Taika Waititi is supposedly working on a remake and a new live-action script for Flash Gordon. Okay.
If done right, that could be interesting.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice to have, that back. I mean, really, there's an example of a character in a franchise that really not much has been done.
Well, I mean, even when Waititi, he directed Thor Ragnarok, and it had that kind of cosmic vibe to it, like the old Flash Gordon film, with Sam Jones, Johnny. Sam freaking Jones.
So the only other thing of note that I can think of before we get to talking about other stuff that's upcoming is apparently Amazon has finished their new Lord of the Rings series, and apparently there's some art and some pictures, and so there's that going on, and I didn't fully look at it, but I don't know.
I don't know if I want to sit through 9 more hours of Lord of the Rings.
Well, I think it's
I mean, they're great. It's fun to watch, like especially at Christmas time. Maybe I equate that because at the time of the year, that's when they were in the theaters. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to watch those, and it's epic fantasy adventure. But yeah, I don't know.
9 hours, man. That's
well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it as movies. They're going to do it as a series.
Yeah, there's been episodes. Yeah, I know.
As
well, then that's better.
It'll deal with the before Sauron, the Dark Lord, I think, is what's going on in that.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
By the way, just so you know, Mike, I thought it was interesting the other night. I was on TNT, and it seems as though TNT is running the first season of Titans.
That's cool.
On TNT right now, just an FYI.
Yeah, I'm gonna binge. Me and my friend Bill, Chef Bill from our barbecue. He and I are going to binge the season 3 of Titans when that comes out.
Yeah. So, well, we'll get to that in a second, but because I feel like next week seems like it's just going to be an all-out week of, hey, here's your comic book geek shit for the week.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a new episode of Superman Lois. I think Stargirl starts that night too.
Dang! I need to finish. I gotta watch that season 1 finale.
Oh, just admit you're not gonna watch season 1 and be done with it, and just watch season 2.
There you go.
I have to watch season 1 finale of Stargirl.
Okay.
Before I get to season 2.
Okay.
It's on the back burner. Way in the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's cold. It's in the freezer.
Yeah, it's got frostbite and frozen bird.
Yeah, freezer burn.
Freezer bird on it. Let's put this in perspective. But and then Superman so the last few episodes of Superman Lois are that. Then we've got What If next week.
Woohoo!
We got What If next week, and then Titans is that week too. So Titans returns for season 3 on HBO Max. So a big week along those lines. And this week, Suicide Squad.
Yep, Suicide Squad 2. Or the Suicide Squad. They're not calling it Suicide Squad 2.
We're not calling it. I gotta tell you, I will say the one thing that I am jealous about is I don't know if it was overseas or if it's here locally, where they did they have the premiere and there's a giant life-size Starro.
Yeah, I saw that. James Gunn posed behind it, yeah.
I'm like, damn it, I want to take pictures of that. I want, like, a picture next to that. You know. I'm excited. I'll be honest, I'm excited to see. I've seen some comments that are non-spoiler from people who supposedly have seen it, who've said that, you know, it definitely is worthwhile. Again, the nice part is that'll be an HBO Max thing, so none of us have to go to the theater to watch it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I want to find out whether or not the first Suicide Squad movie is essential viewing before the second one.
Supposedly not.
Because I still haven't seen the first one.
Dude, what do you do with your time?
Play Mass Effect.
Okay. Okay. That's legit.
Fair enough. He's lost in the game. Andrea Mirkan finally dropped her graphic novel Sweet Paprika a couple days ago, so I'm going to go down to my favorite comic book store, and I also just got a...
Is it a trade or is it an individual issue, like a monthly?
Oh, it's an individual monthly issue.
Okay.
And I'm going to go pick up number 1 probably tomorrow, and then they already
use gloves when opening it taking it out of the bag.
Yes, exactly.
Protect it from collector's
items. No, it's totally worthless.
If you handle it too
much,
much,
it out of the bag, it's worthless. Yeah.
If you handle it too much, it'll last.
That's right.
And so, yeah, then of course they posted just today that number 2 is being translated into English as we speak for next month. So I'm excited.
Right this very minute.
I'm excited about it because
like
I've watched this. No, not like Applebee's, but no, you know what? Yeah, I am excited like Applebee's. I like Applebee's.
But I didn't say I disliked Applebee's. I just wouldn't like take a hot date.
Not first date Applebee's after I smoked a bong Applebee's, but yeah, that'll be fine. So
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I'm looking forward to that coming up, for tomorrow, and then waiting for the number 2 to come up next month. And yeah, I've been following the story and the development of it for almost a year now, and that was on the heels of her last graphic novel called Unnatural, which is an extraordinarily written story. The illustrations are spectacular, the coloring, just the story is very engaging. Yes, it's it's adult reading, but it's quality adult reading. So, it's one of those things. So if you're interested in Mirkan's work, the Unnatural is out there. The trade paperbacks are available 1, 2, 3. And then, Sweet Paprika has just been released with number 1, and number 2 should be coming around the corner, shortly. So if that's your bag in the graphic novel world, that's, something to go after. That, and, definitely, on Unnatural, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, man. So, and from the art that I've got to see about Sweet Paprika, which is about a devil girl who's in love with this angel and their escapades and her exploits on Earth. It's really, really quite the racy story. Mirkan is from Italy. And, right now, it's a big rage, her work is a big rage over there across the waters, and, starting to make.
Hello? We lost Ivan.
I'm here.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, I just have one of these guys are trying to call me, and I keep telling them no.
Yeah, that's a Clubhouse problem.
Okay.
But so yeah, no, like I said, I think that so there's that, and I don't know. Like I said, that's kind of the upcoming week. Is that really? It's a Suicide Squad week. It's kind of. And then next week, it seems like there's a lot of stuff next week. So, that's a positive. And the only other thing I can think of is that I think C2E2 tickets are going on sale this week. By the way,
is that in March?
No, it's going to be in December this year.
Oh, C2E2 is in December. Okay.
Yeah, I guess they're doing one in December. Hit
it for the Christmas season.
Well, it's not the Christmas season. It's a little bit before that, but we'll see with the Delta variant how that goes. Yeah, like so, C2E2 is I guess coming up, and then we'll see. We're starting to hit convention season coming up. Believe it or not, because the Gen Con Game Fair is going to happen.
Yeah, and San Diego is that still the end of September or something like that?
I swore San Diego is going to be Thanksgiving weekend because they're all up in arms about the fact that they're doing it then.
Seems like they're all putting everything towards the winter now.
Let's keep pushing all these cons get pushed forward and forward and forward.
Right, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
So the only other things of note are, I guess. Oh, by the way, I guess there's a new Ninja Turtles movie that's being looked at by Paramount, and then the only other thing we can end on some whack. We haven't done any News of the Squared or anything like that in a while, so we did have 2 things I thought was interesting that you guys will get a kick out of. Although, Mike, did you want to talk about this Scarlett Johansson thing or no?
No, we don't need to talk about it. I just want to make a comment that it seems like Disney it was a poor choice of words for the reply. I mean, this was because her paycheck for Black Widow was based on box office receipts, and she lost a huge chunk of it when they debuted it on Disney Plus, because instead that's money that didn't go to her. Like, we had our barbecue and we were like 9 of us in the theater.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's money. That's a lot of money that could have gone to ScarJo, and it didn't. So ScarJo is suing Disney because of the money dispute, and Disney was all like, pandemic, sorry. I don't think your attitude. I don't like your attitude. Pretty much.
Well,
your contract doesn't cover this.
Your contract covered.
But they cited some other stuff too that they pay. That's the other thing. They're citing some stuff where she got paid in a different way or a different manner because of it. But we'll see. I mean, here's what'll be interesting: is will we see similar comments from The Rock, depending on what goes on with Jungle Cruise, and if that continues to be a direction that gets pushed.
Yeah, but I didn't want to, it's the story is almost a week old, and it's made the forefront of the main news. So nothing we need to touch upon that has already been discussed.
To finish out, got a couple things you'll get a kick out of. So apparently, this is from Rolling Stone, and this is on the Squares of the Roundtable Facebook page, which is apparently there are dominatrices that are demanding their submissives get vaccinated.
Okay.
What? What was that?
You heard me. That apparently there are dominatrixes who are telling their submissives they have to get vaccinated.
I will not whip you unless you got your vaccination.
Well, like some of them have said, like for example, there are certain things where you have to be safer. So,
well, no, absolutely no. I can't. Hey, can't say I blame them. That's a very hands-on career.
No, and again, this article's on there, but like for example, and I want to be careful about this. Here's a quote from one of the dominatrices. I specialize in toilet play. Yikes.
Oh,
and I can't do it without people who are I can't do it with people who aren't vaccinated. So, if you wish to play in a sexual manner of a different way, you may need to get vaccinated. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was kind of out there that I thought you guys would get a kick out of this week is, I don't know if you saw this one or not. So this is from 2fab.com. That Coco Austin, aka I believe that is Ice-T's wife. I could be wrong about that.
Oh, Coco, yeah, that is Ice-T's wife.
Defends breastfeeding daughter at 5 years old. Quote: Chanel still likes my boobs.
Breastfeeding at 5 years old?
My God.
Well, I would just like to point out that we all like your boobs. That's the one thing I would say is.
But there are some things that just.
Yeah, well, here. This is great. Here's a quote here. Her daughter eats steak and hamburgers at the same time. Quote: Chanel still likes my boobs, and so breastfeeding is available because she likes a little snack every now and then. Really? Me too. I'm liking this. Well, I mean.
All right. To each his own.
Yeah. No. I said, we haven't done it.
It does a body good.
Yeah, we haven't done any news of the squared in a long time. I figured that would be kind of an amusing.
Oh, and we'll need an Iron Sheik tweet of the week before you head out.
What do we got?
All right, have we got one handy?
Now, if you're on Twitter, we're on Twitter at SOTRT Podcast, but if you're listening, then if you're on Twitter, then you should follow _Iron Sheik. He is a gift of joy to your Twitter feed.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, Mike retweeted this one, which is, never give up on things that make you smile, you dumb son of a bitch.
Okay.
Let's see. This one's pretty good. Fruits and vegetables are awesome, but have you ever beaten the fuck out of 5 jabronis at once? That's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I am begging you to go fuck yourself. What are you going to do with all that junk inside your trunk? I'm going to beat you the fuck out of you, break your neck, your fucking neck, drink the cold beer, you jabroni.
Okay.
And the worlds of the legend of Earth. Good night. Good night, and go fuck yourself to sleep. Rice-a-roni, you are the rice jabroni.
I like rice-a-roni. Hey,
I like rice-a-roni. Wait a minute.
It's a San Francisco treat.
Right.
Let's see. As they say in French, go fuck yourself.
I didn't see that going.
If there was something in the air that night and the stars were bright, then Fernando, you dumb son of a bitch, she wanted to have sex with you, jabroni. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper. He's been gone now. Jeez.
5-6 years.
5-6 years.
Since 2015.
Dorothy Bubba, the next time you want to go down the yellow brick road, bring the ice cold beer, you dumb son of a bitch.
That's what you got in that basket, not that little dog. Bring some cold beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attention all bullies, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, you fucking jabronis. I break your neck, you dumb son of a bitch.
Okay.
I don't know what that was from. Let's see.
Give us a couple more and then we can head out.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Let's see if there's any. The secret of my success, not giving a
This
fuck.
must have been.
Let's see. We are living in a time where I can genuinely tell you to go fuck yourself. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Otherwise, go fuck yourself forever.
Oh man!
Wow.
That he needs to sing that in karaoke
Let's
night.
see. Hulk Hogan, you are worse than an airport
I want to know
sandwich.
what love is.
I'm saying, what was that, Jeff?
This is a good one to end on. And once again, when he making fun of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, you were worse than an airport tuna sandwich. That's bad.
Pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Oh.
That's pretty bad.
Well,
right. That's probably more.
and that brings us to our corner, folks. Our first live on Clubhouse. This is great.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, this was very cool. You know, we ought to give a big applause to Colleen for coming down and.
Mm-hmm. She's on the phone at the moment, but yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for coming down, Colleen, and hanging around with us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Hanging around for us crazy cats over here. Hope you found us engaging and enjoying
Or crazy.
and nutty. And like nutty is grandma's fruitcake. Yeah, man.
Bourbon steak and the Oreo shake and the whipped cream. Yeah.
Woo! Cheese sandwich.
I swear to God.
Nope. We can't have a podcast without Ivan eating during the show.
Yeah, seriously. What were we eating? What were we eating?
I'm having. Almost made it through without having something to eat there.
Almost counts in hand grenades, horseshoes, and nuclear weapons.
Yeah, my lovely Julie made a cheese, grilled cheese sandwich on artisan bread. Yeah.
That's not no bourbon steak and an Oreo shake. That's for sure.
Oh no, not at all. I'm a cheap date.
No.
I don't know if she's worth an Oreo shake and a bourbon steak.
Okay, did you hear that?
Ivan's more of a gas station hot dogs kind of date.
There you go.
Or airport tuna sandwich like Hogan. I swear to God. I
love that White Castle drive-thru too, so when we throw that in there.
Yeah, I know. I've been around when you've been to the White Castle drive-thru. That's not no. I wasn't sure if it was the transmitter glowing or Ivan. From that, yeah. That night, I'm like, something's glowing. It's either Ivan after White Castle or the transmitter. I can't figure out which.
Well, a lot of the walls of the old radio station would talk. What tales they would tell. Maybe we'll have some of that for next week.
Yeah. So, Mike, if people want to reach out to us, who are actually listening to us, all 5 of them beyond Clubhouse. How do they
reach out and touch someone
with AT&T? We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe, and you'll get the good content. And we're, of course, on Facebook. You can listen. Of course, we got our crazy stories there. Listen on our usual favorite podcast hosting platforms that you use: Apple, iTunes, obviously, the Spotify, and Google. Anchor.fm/SOTRT. Ivan is on for his DJ stuff. He's on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan. He's on his Facebook page, Jive and Ivan's Vibe Tribe. Jeff is everywhere on Steinamite Productions, and we're here on Clubhouse tonight.
Yeah.
So here we are coming to you live from Clubhouse, and thanks everybody for joining us here. And we're so happy that you came on our maiden voyage, episode 159. And in the hopes that you'll, they're going to be able to listen to this on repeat, right? I mean, where can they get it?
You can listen on your favorite podcast hosting platforms or on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Hey, where can they listen to this show?
I didn't know.
Give us an idea of where we can listen to this show.
Oh, funny guy. No, I'm just, I was just saying because I didn't know if Clubhouse followed the same situations and everything else.
No, not a Twitch. It's all live.
No, it's all live.
There are no
Stop
recordings.
Ivan.
Enjoy a grilled cheese sandwich, Ivan.
Yeah. With the Applebee's and the shake and all that other shit.
We be fancy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fancy like that.
Yeah.
I did have a shake today. I had a vanilla shake from Portillo's. That was great.
Okay.
Love me some Portillo's.
Now I want a freaking shake. That's just lovely.
Yeah. Time to shake out of here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to shake out of here. Colleen, thanks for joining us. Jeff, Mike, it's been groovy like a Hollywood movie. Yeah, man. We'll catch up with you next time.